Let's talk about the future of Power Rangers, because this franchise has been doing the same thing every year for 30 years. To talk about the future, we must talk a little about the past and the beginnings of this franchise. We will only talk a little bit about the past since almost all fans know how Power Rangers began, but we still have to mention it for those fans who don't know the history. Power Rangers began thanks to a Japanese series called Super Sentai, and Saban saw this series and realized he could adapt it to America. What he did was use the action parts where the characters were transformed with the suit on and added scenes with American actors in the parts where they did not wear the suits. With this they could change the story of the series and turn it into something a little different. This is what they have been doing for 29 years of history, and this formula has never been changed until now. This way of creating the series has many benefits, especially the economic benefit, since they do not have many expenses because they use the action scenes of the Japanese series, and these are the most expensive parts. That is a great way to save money, but at the same time a great limitation. It is very difficult to create an original story if you have to use scenes already created from another series, because it forces you to use some things. For example, it forces you to use the same costumes, the same villains, and the same weapons. This year, 2023, will be the first time in the history of Power Rangers that they will create almost everything original. For now, we already have original costumes, original weapons, and a story that is not tied to the Japanese series. According to the information, the only scenes they are going to use from Japan are the Zords, and I think this is still a limitation. If they use the Zords, that means they are going to have to use the same villains from the Japanese series. Still, this is a very big step for the Power Rangers story and a good start for the future of the franchise. Cosmic Fury has a big responsibility, as this season is the first test to see if Power Rangers can work without the need to use scenes from the Japanese series. If Cosmic Fury does a good job and the season works, then the future of Power Rangers could be bigger than it has been in its 29-year history. Also, for the first time ever, we will have a special episode outside of the regular season. Whenever there is a special anniversary episode, it has always been done within a regular season of the franchise, and the episode is part of that season. This has greatly limited the special episodes, as they must have the team from that season be featured and must carry a story that is still part of that season. This causes the special episode to be dependent on the regular season, since, if that season is not the audience's favorite, then it is likely that special episode could be a flop as well and not have the audience that the producers were hoping for. This year, the special episode to celebrate 30 years of franchise history is not going to be tied to the regular season. We still don't know if in the story of this episode we will have any links or references to the regular season, but what we do know is that it is not going to be part of the regular episodes of the season. This is of great importance, since the special episode has the creative freedom needed to make a story without having to include the regular season Rangers. This year, for example, in the special episode the main characters are going to be the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, but in the regular season the main characters are the Cosmic Fury Rangers. If they had used the same formula of the past years, then in the special episode the main characters would have been the Cosmic Fury Rangers, even though other Rangers from other seasons would have appeared. Maybe this year this wouldn't have been so bad, since Dino Fury has been a series that fans have really liked, and having them as the main characters in a special episode would have been good. In past years this hasn't worked out very well, as unfortunately special anniversary episodes have been in some seasons that have been a flop with audiences. The most important thing about making a special episode separate from the regular season is to show that they can give us more of Power Rangers. For 29 years in a row we've only had a regular season every year, and there's nothing else outside of that. If this year the special episode works and the Cosmic Fury season also works, it means they have proof that Power Rangers can have more different series. For example, we could have the regular season and we could also have an alternate season with separate stories that are aimed at another audience. Maybe they could give us a season that is still family friendly and another season with stories for adults. These seasons for adults could be very different so that they could be suitable for an audience that is not a fan of the franchise, but does like superheroes and action. They could make seasons of only 10 episodes, but make each episode longer. They could also include more complex themes and increase the level of action. With this we would have a stronger franchise that would include a season for the whole family, a season for adults, comics and action figures to collect. Another thing to mention about the future of the franchise is the comics, as they are getting more and more viewers every day and their stories have been getting better and better every day. In this channel we have narrated several stories from the comics, and all the people who have watched those videos have always had positive comments. This means that these stories work and can be used to create a series or movie. For those of you who have read the comics, you know that these stories are aimed at a more adult audience, but even so, they haven't changed the essence of Power Rangers. This is the best part of the comics, as we have seen some attempts at fan-created stories in YouTube videos that are aimed at an adult audience and have lost the essence of Power Rangers. This has led to some people maybe liking it, but fans of the franchise have not been satisfied with it. This is because they have only focused on the violence and not on the story that the franchise has. For example, in the comics we can see many characters that have appeared in different seasons, and they all interact. This means that we have a more complete and complex story that takes each episode to a different level. In the TV episodes and the comics that are published, the future of the franchise is excellent, but in the toys it is another story. If you think there should be more Mighty Morphin figures, like this video and subscribe for a better future of Power Rangers.